Hey everyone, it's Jesse here. Wanted to provide a quick update on the podcast. It's been a couple weeks since you've seen any new episodes come out, and I apologize for that. I have been completely underwater with some work projects as well as some personal stuff that's cut into my podcasting time. So don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Don't take this gap in episodes or this silence on my side as the podcast is over. It's by no means over. In fact, we're just getting started. And I wanted to take some time today to just record a quick update on how things are going. So first of all, this is episode 21 of the show, which absolutely blows my mind. I wasn't sure if we were going to make it past episode 2. When I set out to do this podcast in September of last year, just under 6 months ago, I was worried at the time that there's so many other sales podcasts, there's so many other SaaS related podcasts, there's so many other career related podcasts that this wouldn't really land and wouldn't really be able to differentiate enough to capture a wide audience. Boy, was I wrong. And I'm really glad that I was wrong. It seems like that this is a very popular topic. And as I've said previously, I didn't think there was anyone else out there doing a fantastic job of highlighting individual contributors. There's all kinds of podcasts out there designed for managers and for CEOs and leadership and execs and things like that. But nobody was really profiling the top performing AEs in the business and showcasing what their process is, what their framework for success is. So I'm really excited, and stay tuned for more really great content. I've got some fantastic guests lined up, and every day I'm learning more and more and have more value to share as I kind of document my own journey to closing larger deals, achieving quota, and just generally finding success in the software sales industry. So 21 episodes, I'm very thrilled about that. And I did want to also share that I'm putting together a companion website to the podcast. Finally, this is probably something I should have done from the get-go, but again, I was wanting to prove out the concept of the podcast first and make sure that there was demand and, of course, an audience for the content that we cover on the show. But now that I know that there's frequent listeners and folks are tuning in over and over again, I thought it'd be helpful to put together a website that's going to have not only highlights from each episode with additional content and links and resources and things like that, but additional resources around some of the topics we cover, as well as a way for you to get in touch with me and a way to interact with the community. More details to come. The website is actually live on the web right now, but I don't want to share the link just yet because there's some graphic design and some other tasks that need to be done first before I'm comfortable opening that up to a broad audience. So stay tuned for more details on that. And I'll be glad to share those here in a couple weeks. One big ask that I needed to make to the listeners out there is I am searching for even more guests. I've got some great ones lined up, but I want to try to build a large pipeline, if you will, or at least a bench of future guests. So if you or someone you know wants to come on the show and share their framework, share their process for sales success, I would love to have you. If you're interested, shoot me an email at jesse@jessewoodbury.com, or you can hit me up on LinkedIn. That's probably the best way to reach me is via LinkedIn InMail. If we're not connected, shoot me an invite to connect, and you can put a little note in there saying, hey, I'm interested in being on the show, or I know someone who might be interested in being on the show. I would love to get a large pipeline or a large bench of guests for future episodes. In fact, it would be great to have this entire year mapped out and locked in, so I don't have to spend time doing, business development, if you will, and research on who my next round of guests are going to be. And up to this point, I've spent a lot of time just pulling from my own network, which has been, great so far. It's kind of helped me get comfortable in front of the microphone. Interviewing people that I've known for years has been a little bit easier, but I'd love to start interviewing folks that are not in my network that would be interested in being on the show. My other ask is any feedback you have, feel free to send that my way. Again, through the same channels, LinkedIn, InMail, or jesse@jessewoodbury.com. I'd love to hear what you like about the show. I'd love to hear what I could be doing better. Are there any topics that I'm not covering, or are there any topics that we are covering that you want to hear more of? Any feedback you have is good feedback. I'm still in that stage of the podcast where we're trying to, turn this from just a hobby into a more serious business. And, I'm not quite sure what my vision is right now for, quote unquote, monetizing the show. I don't want to think about that right now. My focus is just to deliver the best quality content with the best quality audio while highlighting some of the top people in the industry and sharing some value that's going to help in everyone's day-to-day sales efforts. So keep that in mind. I'm not, doing this for the money, but at some point it might make sense to incorporate some business aspects to the podcast just to, make sure it's worth everyone's while. So any feedback you have, I'd love to hear it. And I appreciate everyone who's reached out so far to share that feedback. And I'm looking forward to doing 20 more episodes. And thank you guys for listening.